Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a really long time since I've made a YouTube video. I think a lot has changed in the past couple of months, and I haven't really been active on YouTube because of like life circumstances and stuff like that. So apologies for not being really active on YouTube. I think ever since since I stopped making YouTube videos, I actually started a new job, and that was a really great thing. But now that I have a little bit more time in my hands, I thought of going back to YouTube. It's been like 7 8 months, I guess, since my last upload, and I've really wanted to get back on YouTube, and I wanted to make more videos, but I just didn't have the time. I think now is a good time to make a video. Also, it's really late, it's almost 1 a.m., and I wasn't able to get sleep, so I thought, why not try making a YouTube video and try to get some stuff off my head. Um, Also, yeah, I'm wearing a night guard, so my teeth appear to be a little red, but it may appear that I'm speaking weirdly, but that's because of this. I have a dental problem, that's why I have to wear it. So please bear with me on that. So I wanted to make a video to talk about marital rape because I have not been able to sleep because of this issue. I've spent a fair amount of my time reading and researching about Section 377. I think that understanding our laws are very important, even though some of us are not lawyers, including myself. It's important for us to understand the laws of our country and also the laws of other countries. And it makes us a more responsible citizen, and it also allows us to exercise our democratic right, because a lot of us are people who should know about what our governments are doing and what kinds of laws they support, don't support, and a lot of these laws impact us. In the case of marital rape, for example, it may not impact me, it may or may not impact you, but it will definitely impact somebody who you know, because for sure there's going to be somebody in your family who is going to be married. It could be your sister, it could be a friend, it could be even your parents. And so understanding what the laws of our country says about rape, especially marital rape, is important. More so for me because I've been watching a lot of TV debates, I've been reading about it, and I've been really disappointed and upset with some of the debates, and I really wanted to express my viewpoint. I think this YouTube channel is a way for me to do that, so I'm going to do that today. I very strongly feel that India needs to criminalize marital rape. And I know that this debate has been happening for a very long time in our country, but I think that for some reason or the other, it has just not reached that stage where there would be a blanket law that criminalizes it altogether. And I really don't understand why. So, to understand it, I did a little bit of reading, and I did find a couple of interesting things. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I do want to talk about a couple of things that I feel really strongly about. So I was watching a TV debate from 6 years ago. I think it was on NDTV, and mind you, this is 6 years ago. And in this TV debate, one of the panelists who was from the BJP was saying that she was actually supporting Maneka Gandhi, who is a BJP politician, and this panelist was saying that criminalizing marital rape would be antithetical. Wait, not sure what the word is. She was saying it would be against the institution of marriage, and it would also be misused because a lot of people in India are illiterate, are not aware of their rights, especially women. Whereas if you look at Western countries, those countries are more developed. She also went on to say that in India you have a lot of laws already that recognize spousal violence, such as the Domestic Violence Act. And I believe there are various other provisions as well. I think cruelty is defined under the law to include spousal violence. So a woman technically can actually go to the court if her husband is raping her. It's just that she would not be able to prosecute him under our rape laws, right? So that's the argument that she was making. She also said that there's a lot of pendency in court. So why create a new law when you have already a lot of existing laws that are currently that the court that the court is currently not able to review. So these were some of the arguments she made. There were counterpoints as well. But you know what but what I want to talk about is I'm looking at this video 6 years later, right? We are in 2022 now. In fact, at the time of filming this video, it's 23rd May 2022. So we are almost we're moving towards 2023, and we're still having this debate. And I think that is what was shocking to me. So I was looking at some of the countries that have criminalized marital rape, And I think maybe 6 years ago it would have been fair to say that maybe a lot of Western countries have done it. But if you look at some of the countries that have criminalized it, yes, you have Canada, you have the United States, you have New Zealand, Australia, all of those countries. But you also have countries that are non-Western. Singapore has criminalized marital rape. Nepal has criminalized marital rape. I was looking at some other countries. So have a list of countries with me here, and I'm just going to open it. So there's a country called Costa Rica, which is in Central America. Um, in South Africa, in the African region, you have South Africa as well. So the point is that, and I mean, when I found out that Nepal did it, that did it for me, and of course Singapore also. Right? It blows apart this argument that it is a Western idea. Because if it was a Western idea, why is it that African countries, a few African countries, I think Niger has also criminalized marital rape, South Africa, Singapore, um, Nepal, these countries have done it. Why are we not doing this? Not this Western concept, this logic that it's a Western idea is ridiculous. And we now have 6 years worth more of data to kind of look at it. And I think the Singapore example is very interesting because in Singapore they recently, I think in 2020, criminalized marital rape after a lot of public outcry. So that was something I found very interesting, and it reminds me of the debates we've had about same-sex marriage and homosexuality. And I've actually uploaded videos about it. That people say that it's a Western idea. Well, if it's a Western idea, why did Taiwan legalize same-sex marriage? And don't gay people exist even in Eastern countries? It's like saying that human rights and the equal rights and just humane treatment of people is a Western idea, but in this part of the world we are okay treating people like second class citizens. That's what I hear. And I also think that it's ridiculous to actually to divide people in this kind of in this way, east versus west. It's not east versus west. I think there's certain universal principles we can all agree with. And the other thing is, I was actually looking at the rape law, which I think many people should kind of understand. So the whole debate, the way I understand it, that's happening in the Indian courts, has to do with the fact that according to the Indian Penal Code, you have Section 375, which defines rape. It says that a man is said to commit rape who, in except in XYZ cases, has sexual intercourse with a woman. And then it defines what are the various ways in which a rape can happen. So it says that a rape form is can be called rape if it happens against her will, without her consent, even with her consent, but if that consent came through coercion, etc., etc. So it lists out the way, it kind of defines what rape is, which is a very, I think it's a pretty robust law. One issue is, of course, that it is it is not gender neutral. And of course, I think over the next couple of months and years we should have conversations about rape that happens between men and women and all of that. But that's a different conversation for now. Although I do believe that one of the lawyers advocating against in the marital rape case, who was arguing against criminalizing marital rape, he did make this point that the advocates arguing for marital rape wanted to keep the law as not gender neutral. But anyway, let's keep that aside for now. So anyway, Section 375 talks about this. It defines what rape is, and then it has an exception, and that exception is sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife, the wife not being under 15 years of age, is not rape. So basically what that means is, if a man has sex with his wife and his wife is above the age of 15, it's fine. That's not rape. Now, there was a previous case, I believe, in the one of the high courts or supreme courts, which saw an inconsistency in the law. So you have the POSCO Act, which looks at child sex abuse, and in the POSCO Act, the child is defined as under the age of 18. But according to this rape exception in IPC Section 375, if the wife is above the age of 15 but below the age of 18, that is still not a form of rape. It is still not a form of rape if the husband has sex with her. So there is definitely an inconsistency in the law. I'm not sure if I was able to explain it properly, but there is definitely an inconsistency in the law, and I don't know why that hasn't really been sorted out yet. That too, I'm still surprised at that. And the other thing is that what is it about that age, like about a wife being um, about being about 15 years of age. What is it about that allows that allows the state to define what is rape and what isn't, and what changes magically after marriage? And to me, that is something I never understood. So I had this kind of thought experiment in my head, that let's say a family arranges a marriage between a man and a woman, and in India most marriages are arranged by the family. um, so the man lives with the woman. Let's say they have a live-in relationship, courtship period, whatever, and he rapes her. Technically, that is considered to be a form of rape under Section 375. And then she goes and she signs a paper, and which states that they are now husband and wife, because you do have to basically sign papers, court papers, and that officiates your wedding. And then he does the same thing with her, and now it is no longer considered to be a form of rape. It is not. It is now an exception, assuming of course that she's above the age of 15. And that is something that I never understood. Now of course people will say that you have the Domestic Violence Act, you have cruelty, you have in fact one of the advocates arguing against the law even said that you can use Section 377, because Section 377 doesn't have an outer limit. So the wife can technically say that a husband did what is an unnatural, did an un, basically did an unnatural offense against me as a woman, and can try to prosecute him. But that, I don't think that still justifies the fact that rape is rape. And I think it just boils down to that there's a lot of wordplay going around. Spousal, some people say this is spousal violence, some people say this is non-consensual sex. I mean, hello, non-consensual sex is rape. Rape is when you are forced to have sex with somebody. Rape is when the sex is not consensual. There is no other way to explain it. It is simple as that. And there is no logic to explain how signing of a piece of paper makes it so that what your husband did to that sorry to the signing of that piece of paper does not make it so that what that man did to you 5 seconds ago is a criminal offense, but 5 seconds later is magically not a criminal offense. Why is it that a woman will now have to look at the DV Act, look at Section 377, potentially cruelty and maybe some other legal provisions, after signing that piece of paper? But prior to signing that piece of paper, she could go to the police station under Section 375. And why is India one of the few countries, as usual, lagging behind? Behind Nepal, behind Singapore, behind Niger, behind South Africa. These are not Western countries. So it's not a Western idea. I think the way I see it, it's a violation of a woman's bodily autonomy. It's a violation of her fundamental rights. One of the Delhi High Court judges pointed this out. He did view it as a violation of various articles under the Indian Constitution. I'm not speaking about this as a lawyer. I think it is a violation of her human rights. It is a violation of her privacy rights, her bodily rights, dignity. And I think it's time for India to basically catch up with the rest of the world. We are not doing women a favor. We are not giving women this. We are not doing this as a favor. I think this is something that should have happened always. And for people who say this will destabilize the institution of marriage, whoever still has that idea, let me say that some marriages can be great. I'm sure there are great marriages, and it's great for those people. But not everybody is that lucky to be in a marriage that works. And if there is a power imbalance, it is the responsibility, I would say, of the government to save and protect those who are the most vulnerable. And in this case, it would be the woman who is being raped. Just as the state has a responsibility of protecting her prior to her being married. Maybe when she's in a live-in relationship, maybe when she's dating someone, or even if it's with a stranger. Just signing that contract does not mean that you have now given consent forever. That is just not how it works. And if the man who rapes her is a rapist prior to signing those papers, he does not magically not become a rapist liable of criminal action after signing the paper. I just think that there should be consistency, and I also think that that age thing is really weird. Like, if a child is under the age of 18, and if the man marries a woman, not a woman, but if the man marries a girl who is 16 and has sex with her, then is that considered to be a violation of POSCO or not? I don't know. I'm honestly not sure, because I think the language is very antiquated. I think either lift the age up to 18 all across the board, um, or just figure something else out. I really don't know. I think sometimes the courts make things even more complicated than they are. But I think what will not make it complicated is just recognizing rape is rape, violence is violence, and just let's catch up with the times. That's all I have to say. It's a bit of a rant. I'm sorry, but it's been keeping me up, and I would love to know what you think about this. Do let me know, and I will try my best to make more videos going forward. And I would also love to know what your thoughts are, what kind of videos you want to hear from me. My email ID is sahgalkanav@gmail.com. Do write to me with your thoughts, counter opinions. Feel free to post whatever you want in the comment section. You can like and share this video with others, and it does really help me get to know what you guys are thinking. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye and take care. Bye.